So already we discussed about the steps in the evaluation of radiation field. Once again I refresh you because this one is very important portion of antenna design and analysis. So the steps in the evaluation of radiation fields involves normally in three major steps. In step 1 we have to compute the A corresponds to J, because J is the source, this is the electric current density, the corresponding potential is A. So we have to compute A first. If the source is M, that is magnetic current density M, then we have to compute the corresponding potential F, that we have to compute. F will be the dual equation of this one. Okay, there won't be a much difference between this equation and that equation. The only difference will be the mu will become epsilon, J becomes M, rest will be same as it is. And in the next step we have to compute the E. E is the electric field, which is equals minus j omega A. For the Z directed line source, then the E will be j omega sin theta AZ, which will be oriented along the theta directions. Okay, so we need to remember these expressions almost for all our discussions. This is the general expressions for volumetric source, and this one is the special case. So when the source is oriented along the Z axis, then we have to use this expressions. So you need to memorize this equation 2, that is NF. Once you memorize equation 2, you can get equation 3. The only difference is the double integral of Jz becomes I of Z here, and r cap dot r prime, that becomes the dot product of two position vectors, become r cap whose magnitude is 1, therefore it will become r prime cos theta. And this r prime represents, it is the direction through which the source is oriented or the source current is flowing. For the Z directed line source, the source will be oriented along the Z axis, therefore we can put Z prime. The prime rotation refers the points are pertaining to source, then it becomes Z prime cos theta. That one is this one. Rest will be same. Since the double integral becomes I of Z, and the TV has the can be split as surface integral with the line integral. So line is through the Z axis. Therefore the double integral of J of Z along with the dz, that one becomes I of Z, and the left out d of Z will be here. So this volume integral becomes the contour integral or single integral in the case the current, the source current flows along a Z axis or only along the one direction. Here we have taken that direction as Z axis. And in the second step, after computing the electric field, then we have to compute the magnetic field. And for the magnetic field, this is the formula, we can use it. H equals 1 by eta r cap cross E. And remember one thing, the bold printing. So here the bold printing are refer vector quantity. These all are refer the vector quantity. And anything italic print normally refers scalar quantity. And in free space, the relationship will be E by H ratio. In free space, it will be eta. And in free space, the wave also becomes TEM wave, transverse electromagnetic waves. Okay, so these are the very basic things for the analysis of antenna problem. And next, we have to discuss about the application of these steps in one uniform line source problem. So here the uniform line source is a line source for which the current is constant along its extent. That is called uniform line source. That means here that is the line of length L. Okay, so that is a line of length L which is oriented with respect to the origin 0. Therefore, the upper portion above the origin is L by 2 and lower part of the line source will be minus L by 2, will be the terminating point of the lower part of the line source. Similarly, L by 2 is the upper terminating point of upper part of the line source. And here we assumed that the currents are uniform. Current uniform means everywhere the current is same amount of I0. So everywhere the current is uniform, remember, and we assumed that our phase shift is 0. So I0, the phase shift is 0 degree. So everywhere the current is same quantity with 0 degree phase shift. And in current profile, this is the current profile, and this is z axis. This is the current I of Z. The current everywhere is I0 uniform. Okay, this is the current distribution. This is a uniform current distribution. For this case, your I of Z prime equals I0, that is uniform current which flows everywhere along the source length. And the coordinate is S prime is 0, y equals 0, and along the Z axis it is extended from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. It is represented as modulus of Z prime is less than or equals L by 2, where L is the length of the line source. So as per this procedure, first thing is we have to compute A. Since it is a line source, we have to use this formula. A equals Z cap mu e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r contour integral of I of Z prime e raised to j beta Z prime cos theta dz prime. The prime refers source point. So the first one is Z is mu e raised to j beta r by 4 pi r integral minus L by 2 plus L by 2. These are limits. And the current is I of Z, whose value is I0, is constant everywhere, and rest of the things will be e raised to j beta Z prime cos theta dz prime. Now you take the integral of this integrand, then it will become I0, this is I0, then e raised to j theta. So when you take the integral, it will becomes e raised to j theta, as it is e raised to j beta Z prime cos theta whole divided by, take the differentiation with respect to Z, it will become j beta cos theta. Now we have to apply the limits minus L by 2 plus L by 2. So when you put in the upper limit, it becomes e raised to j beta L by 2 cos theta, this one. When you apply the lower limit, minus e raised to j beta here L by 2 cos theta. So here minus this one divided by j beta cos theta. So this will be here. Afterwards, what we are going to do is, we can write this one, the numerator as e raised to j theta minus e raised to minus j theta format. It can be written as 2j sin theta. It will be 2j sin, the place of argument here it is beta L by 2 cos theta. It will be 2j sin of beta L cos theta. And here the j, the numerator j will be cancelled, and we can bring this number 2 in the denominator as 1 by 2. So here it will be beta by 2. Now we multiple the L up and down. So here you multiple the L and also you multiple the L. Now it will become mu L I 0 e raised to j beta r by 4 pi r. This becomes sin theta, sin of beta L by 2 cos theta divided by beta L by 2 cos theta. This form we will be getting. Why we have to write this form? Because we try to refer this term as simples. So it is in the form of sin x by x form. This is a sin x by x form. X is the argument. So the argument is beta L by 2 cos theta. Denominator also beta L by 2 cos theta. We can write this term as sin x by x form. Then the next thing is, we have to compute the electric field. Now the electric field will be j omega sin theta a z theta cap. This is for the peculiar formula for the line source. Now we have computed the a z. Now you substitute the a z. This one is the a z. Now you substitute this here. Now it will become j omega sin theta, and this is the a z. This mu I naught L e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r, then sin of some x divided by x form. Next thing is, we have to compute the magnetic field. For the magnetic field, it is h pi equals e theta by phi. We know the e theta. Only thing is, you have to divide this entire term by 1 by eta, or multiple the entire term by 1 by eta. This will be h, and the field or the electromagnetic wave is propagating along this direction in a spherical coordinates. If you put the spherical coordinates here, and so that the line source is getting enclosed, then the spherical coordinates will be like this. This will be our spherical coordinates. Okay. So this one is r directions. It says a radial directions r. This is the theta direction along which the electric field is oriented. Therefore, this is the theta, E theta. And our magnetic field will be definitely oriented around the wire. So, this will be our H will be along pi directions. Therefore, H will be in pi direction when the electric field is in theta direction and the total electromagnetic wave is propagating along the r directions. This is the wave which is propagating through the r directions. Okay. So, this is one example for the applications of our evaluation of steps involved in the radiation measurement, radiation computations to compute the field, electric and magnetic field. And the next one is this is also a fundamental computation techniques. This is the uniform line source. Again the same one, uniform line source, where we have not taken the phase into account. Here we are going to include the phase also into account. So, we know that the uniform line source means which has a current distribution uniform, that is the same amplitude everywhere. Here we have included the phase progression also as beta 0. So, this is the radiator or wire antenna of length L. Lower one is minus L by 2, upper one is L by 2. And the current is uniform everywhere, that value is I0, whereas the phase shift is included as beta 0. This is a phase shift per unit length along the line source. When we multiply the phase shift with Z, because this one is oriented along the current flow is along the Z axis. So, when we multiply this with Z, we will be getting the electrical length or the phase shift due to the path of the current flow. So, here the current is represented as I of Z prime equals I0, that is the magnitude of the current, e raised to j beta naught Z prime, which refer the phase. And this is happens over the length of L, that is from the lower points minus L by 2, upper point L by 2 along the Z prime axis. In other region where the current is 0. So, you should, here we have 2 beta will be encountering. So, we have to know the difference between these 2 beta symbols. One is the beta 0 or beta naught is the phase shift per unit length along the line source, and another one is beta. This is the free space wave number. Okay, so the beta naught is guided wave number. We can call the beta naught as guided wave number, and beta is the free space wave number, and beta can be related with the frequency and the medium parameter mu and epsilon by the beta equals normally in general omega root of mu epsilon. So for the beta is the free space wave number. For that the beta is the omega is the same frequency of operation or the wave frequency, and the mu will be free space mu. Okay, let us say the free space mu as mu 1 and free space epsilon as epsilon 1. This value 4 pi 10 raised to minus 7, this value will be 1 by 36 pi 10 raised to 9, or approximately 8.854 10 raised to minus 12 farad per meter. So this is the beta for free space. For the medium concern, this beta is beta 0. For the beta 0, where the omega is some other, the omega will be the same frequency, whereas the medium constant will be different. So for the given medium, the mu will be mu 2 and epsilon will be epsilon 2. This is different from the free space medium parameters. So you should have the understand on these two beta. Okay, beta naught is the guided wave number, which is purely depends on the structure of antenna radiator, where beta is free space wave number, which is merely omega root of mu epsilon. Mu epsilons are pertaining to the free space parameters. Now we have to apply the same technique to compute the electric field. Here our aim is we have to compute the pattern, how the pattern will looks. So this is the radiator, and this radiate the energy in this directions. When it radiate the waves in this direction, that is along the R direction, what will be the pattern looks. Now see, when theta is 0 degree, so theta is measured from Z axis. So when theta is 0 degree, this will be along the Z axis. When theta is 90 degree, this will be along the another one normal axis. So when theta is 0 degree, this one is referred as N fire. When theta is 90 degree, this direction is referred broadside. Broadside means which comes perpendicular to the structure. N fire means along the axis of the radiating structure. Okay, so the theta define the radiation along the N fire and the radiation along the broadside. When theta is 0 degree, it refers the N fire direction. When theta is 90 degree, which refers the broadside directions. Okay, and this understanding is also important. Okay, now we have to apply the A first. We have to compute and the formula for A is A equals Z cap, because this one is oriented along the Z axis. Z cap mu e raised to minus j beta r by 4 pi r integral of I of Z prime e raised to j beta Z prime cos theta dz prime, and E can be computed by using this expression. E equals j omega sin theta A is Z theta cap. And this we have two parts, and since the integration is going to be taken with respect to Z, therefore this quantity will just change the amplitude of the wave, whereas this quantity will change the geometrical structure of the pattern. Therefore, this one we are calling as pattern part of the integral. So, for the pattern computation, we no need to worry about these portions, because this one only control the amplitude. And this integral we can refer as some function f u n is a unnormalized pattern function. So, we will be taking this as unnormalized pattern factor of the uniform line source is f u n, unnormalized function of u of this. Okay, and if you take the integral of this the same way as I, what is I? I of z? I of z is I naught e raised to j beta naught z prime, and integral will be from minus L by 2 L by 2. So, the limits is minus L by 2 L by 2, I of z is I 0 e raised to j beta 0. So, the I will be I 0 and e raised to j beta 0, it will be happens along the z. Okay. So, this one is this I 0 e raised to j beta z z. Okay, it will be in this prime. Then when you add these two together, and the common things is j z prime, and it will be these two term we can add, this term with this term, and the j is common, z prime is common, and the rest of the parameters are here beta 0 plus here beta cos theta. These are the terms. Is that this will be e raised to j z prime of beta 0 plus beta cos theta. And after the integration, we have taken this beta 0 plus beta cos theta, and there will be L by 2 will be coming as a exponent after substituting these limits. Then it will be L by 2. These portions we have taken as u, some function as u. So, these portions we have taken as u. Okay, this is the u. Next is, it is convenient to introduce an angle theta naught such that, now we are going to introduce the angle theta naught at that direction the beta naught equals minus cos theta. Okay, if it is so, the u becomes 0, then which gives us maximum. This is a thing we have to take the direction referred by angle theta naught at which the beta 0 equals minus beta cos theta naught. So at one angle theta naught, this is theta, at one angle theta naught, at which the beta naught equals minus beta cos theta naught, corresponding angle. For convenient, we have taken as like this. And at this direction or angle, it gives a maximum also. Now this equations become, if you take this one and now this equations becomes u equals, now you substitute beta L equals minus beta cos theta naught, then the beta will be common, L by 2 common, it becomes cos theta minus cos theta 0. This is u. Okay. Far zone electric field from these two equations, because this is the equations we are going to use to compute the electric field j omega sin theta Az. Just now we have computed the Az part. Now we have to substitute the Az part there. That is, it will be j omega e raised to j beta 4 pi r of this much sin u by u, because this is the integral part we have computed. This is that. When you apply, we will be getting the E theta, that is electric field along the theta direction. And pattern factor of this uniform line source field expression is, here you can see two geometrical expressions. One is sin u by u. This is called pattern factor, because the pattern is controlled by this trigonometric function. That's why it is called pattern factor. Okay, this one is called pattern factor because this one is controlled. And another one trigonometric function sin theta. The sin theta is called element factor actually. It is the element factor. This is called element factor. So remember, there are two trigonometric functions. One function is called element factor, another one function is called pattern factor, because the pattern factor controls the pattern of the radiation. So now we have taken the pattern factor as f of u equals sin u by u. Now the pattern factor alone is shown here. When we sin u by u is a simples. It is a very familiar one for us. So when we plot the sin u by u, this is the plot, sin u by u plot. Now we can see that this is the main beam or major axis, main beam or major axis, main beam of radiation. This one is the first null, it is a null 1, the first null. This is the another one null, this is a second null, this is a third null. This way is going on in right hand side. Similarly, in the left hand side, this will be the first null, this is second null, this is a third null. Now you see that the nulls are separated by pi radian. Okay, so the difference between the 2 pi to pi will be pi, 3 pi to pi will be pi. Therefore, the nulls are separated by pi radian, except the first null in either side of the main beam will be separated by 2 pi radian, because this one is 0 degree, this is a pi degree, this is another one pi degree. Therefore, the separation angle will be 2 pi only between the first null in either directions of the main beam. And next thing is we have to compute the half power beamwidth of the uniform line source pattern factor, which is found from 1 by root 2 equals sin u by u, because we have to compute the half power points. The half power points will be 1 by root 2 times the maximum. Since the maximum is 1, so 1 by root 2 times 1. Okay. So the 1 by root 2 means it is around 0.707. Okay, it will be this is 0.6, this is 0.7, maybe here something around over here. This point will be 0.707. This will be 1 by root 2. So the function value sin u by u, it is a sin u by u function. The function value at this point, the function magnitude at these 2 points will be mu hp. It will be sin u hp and u hp. This is the corresponds to the half power points of 1 by root 2. We have to compute this. Therefore, we have to equate this function equals 1 by root 2, at which your u value will be corresponds to hp value, half power beamwidth value. Therefore, 1 by root 2 equals sin u hp by u hp. And when you take the solution, getting the solution for this, the closed form solution is not easy, because the unknown involved in both numerator as well as in the denominator. Therefore, the better way of getting the solution for these particular equations will be using graphical solution. We can write a small program either in C language or MATLAB or any other language. You can keep on supplying the u values and plot it, and for some u value where we will be getting the value 1 by root 2, that is 0.707, that value we can take as for the value of u. So it is very easy to compute graphical method by writing a program. So that value is plus or minus 1.39 is the value predicted as mu hp equals plus or minus 1.39. If you put that value over here, we will be getting 1 by root 2. So next thing is we have to compute the angle theta hp. At theta hp will be, actually we are going to use these equations. At for some angle, at what angle the hp half power beamwidth has come, u equals this much, you have to compute the theta. So for the computation of theta, it will be cos inverse of, we have to compute this theta. This theta we have to compute. Now you bring all things over here. So 2u by beta L plus cos theta 0. Cos inverse of the whole argument, which gives as theta value. Therefore, we will be getting the theta value as theta hp equals cos inverse of this. That u value will be corresponds to hp. And which is equals, we know the beta is 2 pi by the beta 2 pi by lambda. So beta 2 pi by lambda, and these you can, and you can cancel this 2 and the denominator 2, and bring the lambda over here in the top. So I will be getting lambda by L. So here it yields lambda by L. Now you apply the value for the mu hp. Mu hp value is this one, 1.39. So when you apply the 1.39 and multiple with pi, multiple with this pi quantity, we will be getting 0.443 lambda by L plus cos theta naught. Same thing. Here the plus sign corresponds to half power point on the right of the main beam maximum and minus sign to the left half hour point. There are two plus or minus here has come. Okay, the plus or minus will be corresponds to one comes in the right hand side, another one corresponds to the left hand side for the computation of half hour beam width. Now the complete HP will be half hour points will be theta HP left minus theta HP right. So that is the angle between these two that we need. So one is some points HP, another one will be in this form. So the half hour point will be my half hour point will be something. Actually it should cross 0.474. So let us assume this is my 0.474. Okay, this one is so the angle will be let us say this one 0.707 and another one is through 0.707. Selected. Okay, so the angle between these 2 points is half hour beam width point. That's why the theta HP left minus theta HP right. We need only the magnitude alone. Now the cos inverse of this value, for the left hand side you can take negative value, this negative for left hand side and this positive for right hand side. Therefore cos inverse of minus this value minus cos inverse of the positive one. Now for the HP computation, there are two radiation direction. One is broadside, another one will be in end fire. For the broadside, as I told you, the theta will be 90 degree. Okay, for the broadside radiations, the theta will be 90 degree. So the theta is here, it is 90 degree. This is called broadside radiations. And end fire means the theta is 0 degree or the theta can be 180 degree also. So end fire can be taking place either in upward or downward. For the upward case 0 degree, for downward case 180 degree. Whereas for broadside can happens in 90 degree this way. And this also a broadside. Okay. So here it is a 90 degree. So the 90 degree is broadside. Broadside radiations. This one will be end fire. Therefore, for broadside uniform line source, theta is 90 degree. Now you substitute the theta is 90 degree here. Cos 90 becomes 0. Here also this term becomes 0. So only term will remain cos inverse of this minus cos inverse of this portion alone. And there is a formula cos inverse of minus x minus cos inverse of x equals to sine inverse of x. There is a small derivation is there to get this relation. So cos inverse of minus x minus cos inverse of x can be written as 2 sine inverse of x. Therefore, the HP equals to sine inverse of the x value, that is 0.443 lambda by L. For the theta 90 degree, that means broadside. Okay, this is for broadside. For long length of the source, when L is far greater than lambda. So it can be for larger length, this quantity will be approximately the argument quantity. Now 2 times of this argument will be 0.886 times L by lambda radian. The corresponding degree will be, so 1 radian, we know that the pi radian equals 180 degree. Therefore, 1 radian will be 180 by pi. Now you replace this radian, 1 radian by 180, you multiple with 180 and divided by pi, you will be getting 50.8 lambda by L degrees. And next thing is for the end fire case. And for the end fire uniform line source, only one cop power point appears in visible region. That means this case, it is a broadside. For the broadside, the radiation, the both side of the radiation will be in the visible region. This is the radiation pattern. The both part, the upper, this part, and also the lower, this part also visible. Whereas in the end fire case, this will be the radiation pattern. Here, the visible region, this region, only the one portion is visible. This the portion will be visible. This for end fire. This one is broadside. Okay. So for the end fire, only one is visible, and the angle will be for the end fire 0 degree. And can be 180 degree also. Okay. So therefore, for 0 degree and 180 degree, this corresponds to the end fire radiations, where it can be written as 2 cos inverse of 1 minus 0.44 lambda by 2. Similarly, the same way as when L is far greater than lambda, then the HP will be 2 root of 0.886 lambda by L radian. Now, the important observation here is this end fire radiation leads to wider beam width than the broadside radiations. So, end fire radiation beam width is wider and hence the directivity gets reduced. In turn, having a effect on the gain of the antenna. So, the gain of the antenna is reduced when the radiation is taking place along the end fire. When the radiation is taking place along the broadside, where the beam width gets reduced and hence directivity is improved, which has an influence on the gain. The gain also increased for the broadside radiation than that of end fire. Now, the half power beam width expression HP equals 0.886 lambda for broadside uniform line source was developed using two approximations. The effect of the element factor sin theta was neglected, and also it was assumed that the line source was long. So, here what we did is we have neglected the sin theta part of the f of theta. Actually, the f of theta has two trigonometric functions. As I told you earlier, the pattern has two functions. f of u by u, yeah, this one. The pattern is two function, one is sin theta, another one trigonometric function sin u by u. Only we have taken the sin u by u into account for our all discussions. We have just neglected the sin theta part. This is the approximation that we have incorporated in this derivations. So, in the following table, I show you the half power beam with values for three uniform line sources are presented for various levels of approximation. Actually, this is the exact pattern expressions. That this pattern expression includes the element factor also. Sin theta with sin u by u form, where u is beta L by 2, cos theta. So, if you see the table, this one is the length of the source, 2 lambda, 5 lambda, 10 lambda. You keep on increasing the length of the source. This is the exact value from the complete pattern here of equation 15. This is the exact one. This one is only we have taken the pattern factor into account. We have just ignored the sin theta element factor. This one is the approximate formula just now we have derived. This is the formula we have derived just now to compute the beam width. Here the table compares these three techniques. As here you see the value is 24.766. If you compute the pattern using this expression, it will be 25.591. If you use the approximate formula just now we have derived, the value will be 25.382 degree. For 5 lambda, this is the value 10.11, this one. For 10 lambda, this is the value. Now we can observe that as the length is increased, the approximation, these values are having a close agreement. Okay. So with this we can conclude today. The next class we see the rest. Thank you.